Hello students, good morning. Myself Nidhi Ghetia from Faculty of Pharmacy, Dr. Subhas Technical Campus. So today we study about our subject, that is Pharmaceutical Organic Chemistry 1. As we know that all, and that's called is a BP 202 PP. In this subject we learn our second chapter, that is alkane. Alkanes are also known as the hydrocarbons. Okay, so in this lecture today we study about the introduction of the alkane, naming system of the alkane, then types of the alkane and classification of the alkane. Okay, so first we study the introduction of the alkane. So hydrocarbons are the organic compound containing only hydrogen and carbon. Okay, so that's called the hydrocarbon. Compound having the organic compound having the only carbon and hydrogen, that's called the hydrocarbon. Okay, so two types of the hydrocarbon. First one is a acyclic or open chain hydrocarbon, and second one is a cyclic or closed chain hydrocarbon. Acyclic or open chain hydrocarbon, also known as the aliphatic hydrocarbon, because they are not having the ring structure. Okay, so that's why also known as the aliphatic hydrocarbon. And then cyclic or closed chain hydrocarbon are also known as the cycloalkane, because they having the ring structure. Okay, so alkane's general formula, that is CnH2n plus 2. So N is denoted by the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so C1, carbon atom 1, hydrogen atom 2, and plus 2. So carbon 1 and hydrogen 4, that's called the methane. That example of the methane, ethane. In ethane, carbon atom 2 and hydrogen atom 6. So ethane, that structure is a ethane. Then alkane are the saturated hydrocarbons. Okay, so as we know, two types of the hydrocarbons, saturated and unsaturated. So alkanes are the saturated hydrocarbons. Then naming system of the alkanes. Naming system of the alkane, also called the nomenclature of the alkane. Okay, nomenclature system. So in this, first suffix is a N. So all alkanes end with the N, A-N-E. Suffix is a N. Okay, so all alkanes end with the N. Methane, ethane. So last suffix is a N. Then less of the double bond, because they don't having the ring structure, either saturated hydrocarbons. That's why that's not having the double bonds. Okay, then always in a straight chain and branch system. Alkanes are generally having the straight chain structure and branched system. Okay, then first four homologous series, that is methane, ethane, propane and butane. Okay, so in methane, carbon 1, hydrogen 4, that's called the methane, and ethane, carbon 2, then H6, then propane, carbon 3, H8, then butane, carbon 4, hydrogen 10. Okay, then types of the alkane. So mainly two types of the alkane. First one is a straight chain alkane, then branch chain alkane. So two types of the alkane. So straight chain alkane are, these are those alkanes in which no carbon atom is linked to more than two other carbon atoms. Okay, so in one carbon atom attached with the two other carbon atom, that's called the straight chain alkane. Okay, so that carbon atom also called the secondary carbon atom, because one carbon atom attached with the other two carbon atom, that's why that carbon atom called the secondary carbon atom. Okay, then second one is a branch chain alkane. So in this, one carbon atom attached with the other 3 or 4 carbon atom, So that's why that carbon atom also called the tertiary and quaternary carbon atoms. Okay, so proper definition of the branch chain alkane, that is these alkanes at least one carbon atom is linked to other 3 or 4 carbon atoms. That's called the branch chain alkane. One carbon atom attached with the link with the other 3 or 4 carbon atom, that's called the carbon branch chain alkane. Okay, so straight chain alkane example is a N-butane and N-hexane, and branch chain alkane example is a isobutane and neopentane. So mainly two types of the alkane, that is straight chain and branch chain. Okay. Then classification of the carbon atoms. So first mainly four types of the carbon atom classification, classified in a 4 class. First one is a primary, second one is a secondary, third one is a tertiary, and fourth one is a quaternary carbon atoms. Okay, so in primary carbon atom, one carbon atom attached with the other one carbon atom, that's called the primary carbon atom. Okay, and secondary carbon atom same as the primary, but here one carbon atom attached with the two other carbon atom, so that's why that's called the secondary carbon atom. And then tertiary carbon atom, one carbon atom attached with the other 3 carbon atoms, so that's why that's called the tertiary carbon atom. And then quaternary carbon atom, one carbon atom attached with the other 4 carbon atom, so that's why that's called the quaternary carbon atom. So carbon atoms classify in a 4 class: primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary. Okay. Then nomenclature of the branch chain alkanes as per the IUPAC name of the branch chain alkane rules. Okay, as per IUPAC ruling system, branch chain alkane naming system, first rule is a longest chain rule. Okay, so alkane chain is a longest. Second rule is a rule for larger number of the side chain. Okay, so side chain carbon atoms are the larger in numbers. Okay, then third one is a lowest number rule. Then fourth rule is a name of the complex alkane. Okay, and fifth one is a alphabetical order: alpha, beta, gamma, that's alphabetical order rule. Then sixth one is a numbering of different substituents at equivalent position. Then seventh rule is a naming same substituent at different position. And eighth one is a last, that is a naming of the branched substituents. Okay, so these are the IUPAC ruling system for the branch chain alkane nomenclature. Okay, then our today's study of this content, that is for main topics, that is introduction, classification, types of the alkane and nomenclature of the alkane. So thank you to all.